I want to talk to you about the best credit monitoring services. And of course, we're speaking about free and paid services. This is a review I want you to pay attention to. So, the first one, the first search service I want to share with you into this conversation is Aura. And even though Aura is relatively new, they've been kicking ass like crazy. I mean, they're really, really good. So, think about Aura as an award winning intelligent safety solution that really combines identity theft protection. You have three bureau credit monitoring. You have powerful digital security tools. You have 24/7 US based support. And then you have up to $5 million in identity theft insurance on family plans, of course. So this is kind of cool. And every Aura plan comes with a free 14-day free trial to see if this is actually the right plan for you, as well as a 60-day money-back guarantee on all annual plans. So this is kind of cool. So long story short, what we love about Aura is that they actually stand out from other services by offering the fastest and most reliable fraud alerts, up to 2 to 3 times faster than other credit monitoring services, as well as one-click Experian credit lock to prevent the scammers from opening new accounts or taking out loans and lines of credit in your name. Okay, so this is kind of cool. So when you think about Aura, what are the pros and cons here? The pros: you have three bureau credit monitoring included as a standard feature on every plan, and you have the fastest and most reliable fraud alerts. You have a comprehensive financial account monitoring. You have award-winning identity theft protection, including dark web monitoring and data breach notifications. What about the cons here? Some features are not yet available on all devices and browsers, and the thing is that the annual three bureau credit reports are not available elsewhere. They're not available all the time, if you will. Aura can be more expensive than other options, basically depending upon the pricing that you want to have. And but it's pretty straightforward. The second search service I want to share with you is Identity Guard. And what we love about Identity Guard is that basically you are talking about a service that has been around for a while, and not only in terms of credit monitoring, but also identity theft. Okay, and Identity Guard actually are like they provide also three bureau credit monitoring and monthly credit scores using Vantage Score 3.0. That we love that a lot. So we love the fact that you have a social media account monitoring to protect you against account takeovers. You have a very powerful identity theft protection. You have a 24/7 dark web data breach and public records monitoring. Fantastic. Boss, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. Make yourself comfortable. You are going to enjoy today's conversation. Next, I want to share with you another player called Identity Force. And Identity Force is great for credit monitoring from TransUnion. So Identity Force is a product from TransUnion, and so they do identity theft protection and credit monitoring. And so this is kind of cool. And but they use Vantage Score, okay, and they also provide three bureau credit monitoring. And it's really expensive in some ways, shape or form. One thing I want to say is that we love the fact that with Identity Force, you have a very well-known name with over 40 years of experience. Again, TransUnion, of course. Social media monitoring features. You have 30-day free trial on standard planes, and this is kind of cool. And in terms of the cons here, basically you do have some mixed user reviews on usability and customer support. You have a very expensive option than other players on this list. And then the 30-day free trial actually is not always 30 days, depending upon your geography. Okay. Next, I want to share with you ID Watchdog from Equifax. So if Identity Force is from TransUnion, ID Watchdog is from Equifax. And so you have credit monitoring from Equifax. And it's one of those things where if you love Equifax, you want to do everything with Equifax, you'll go with ID Watchdog. And what we love about this is that you have a multi-bureau credit lock. You have daily credit scores using the Vantage Score model. You have up to 1 million in identity theft insurance, including $1 million in stolen 401k or HSA funds. So this is kind of cool in terms of giving you a peace of mind. This is an important element for you. And now, what we don't like with ID Watchdog is that you have limited identity theft monitoring. So in terms of dark web, data breach, and public records, you don't have as comprehensive as we would like, on at the watchdog. And there is no free trial. There's no free trial with this service. This is one thing that I really want that really we have seen, and it's relatively expensive too, because you are looking at 20 to $45 per month per on the family plan, and on the individual plan you are paying about 15 to $20. So this is still it's still something. Boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about the best credit monitoring services. Privacy Guard, and so Privacy Guard is great when it comes to flexible plans for identity and credit monitoring. And Privacy Guard allows you to choose between identity monitoring, credit monitoring, or both, giving you more options if you want only one or the other. And unfortunately, while its credit monitoring features are competitive to other services, it really lacks some critical features for identity theft protection, such as 24/7 customer support and a password manager. And so when we think about the identity theft, I want you to think about 3 bureau credit monitoring, which is really offered only on credit protection or total protection plans. You have there are no fraud alerts, so there is no public data on fraud alert speeds, and there is no credit lock. There is a financial account monitoring. This is really good. There is also credit score tracking, and you have a proactive digital security in some cases. And customer support is only available Mondays through Fridays from 9 a.m. through 8 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 a.m. through 5 p.m. Eastern. And in terms of fraud and identity theft insurance, you do have it up to $1 million. Okay. So in terms of this player, you have a pretty diverse player, but there are no proactive protection features such as antivirus, VPN, or a secure password manager. Next, I want to share with you Identity Works, and this is actually a product from Experian. So Identity Works is pretty good. You have a service that's really comprehensive. You have fraud alerts. You have 3 bureau credit monitoring. You have financial account monitoring. This is really cool. You have fraud and identity theft insurance up to $1 million. And what we love about this player Identity Works is that you do have the free plan for basic Experian basic Experian credit file monitoring. You have daily FICO credit reports and scores. You have Experian credit lock, and but on the flip side, you have there is no 24/7 customer support, and you have limited identity theft monitoring on the basic plan, and you have expensive plans with no digital security features or tools. So it's one of those things where you have to see what really works for you before choosing, and you want to choose appropriately. Next, I want to talk to you about LifeLock, and LifeLock is by Norton. And so Norton, actually, you have an all-in-one solution with from Norton. And so LifeLock is one of the most well-known names in identity theft protection, thanks to its long list of long history and connection with Norton 360. And so for credit monitoring and credit score tracking, LifeLock uses the Vantage Score model. And so you have fraud alert, yes. You have a credit lock, but this works for TransUnion only. You have limited financial account monitoring, so checking, credit, and savings accounts activities are, I mean, you can get alerts from those, but investment and 401k monitoring is only available on Ultimate Plus plan, okay? And you have credit score tracking. This is kind of cool. But you do have extensive identity monitoring, including SSN, dark web, and social media monitoring. You have this now. What we don't like with LifeLock is that the second year renewal rates are 30 to 70% higher than the initial price you pay. So this is something to really be aware of. Next, you have MyFICO. So MyFICO is kind of cool also. We love MyFICO. This is actually the official FICO credit score app. And you have, there is no credit lock though. You do have financial account monitoring, and you have a regular FICO score updates. And this is kind of cool. And you have identity and fraud theft insurance up to $1 million. And this is kind of cool. This is really interesting in terms of flexibility. So we love that. And but the free plan for FICO score monitoring is kind of available on with this player, but there is no free trial, and you do have expensive paid plans. You also have the ability to to monitor dark web activity, but there is missing digital security and online safety tools. And so you want to go with MindFactor if you are looking for flexibility, but you're also looking for the ability to be really reactive in terms of your identity theft protection. Okay, and but it's one of those things where you have to see what really works for you. Boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about the best credit monitoring services of this year. Next, I want to talk to you about Credit Sesame. And Credit Sesame is actually you have a free one bureau credit monitoring, and so their basic plan provides credit score tracking with estimates of your credit score using the information in your TransUnion credit report. Okay, they also help you with personal finance decisions, including student loans, car loans, suggested credit cards, etc. And so this is kind of cool in terms of flexibility. We love that. And so you have now the only thing is they only monitor one credit bureau. So now 3 bureau credit monitoring is available on paid plans, but on the free plan, you only have one credit bureau. You have the daily credit score updates. You have credit building tools to help you increase your credit score. So we are speaking about financial education here. So it's really cool. And the last one here is a Credit Wise by Capital One. And so this is a simple credit monitoring for everyone. You don't need to actually be a Capital One credit card holder to actually avail yourself of this tool. You can use it, not a problem. So this is a service offered by Capital One that uses Vantage Score to track changes to your credit report. By the way, basically Capital One recently bought Discover. I mean, whether or not the deal will go through, I don't know, but I just want to mention that. So basically, there could be some potential changes to your Capital One account or even this service. But for now, we're still including it here because they have kept it. I mean, maybe they might, but they might suppress it. Who knows? But in terms of this Credit Wise, there is no credit lock, there is no financial account monitoring. There is credit score tracking. Yes, you have regular Vantage Score credit score updates, but there is no proactive digital security. There is no customer support. There is no fraud or identity theft insurance, and it is a free service. So you can see that because it's free, you have limited capabilities here. So you have free credit monitoring and protection tools, unlimited access to your Vantage Score 3.0 TransUnion credit score. You have a credit score simulation tool, security alerts that flag changes to your credit score, and then you have a secure mobile app. But on the flip side, you do not have. There is no digital security or online protection features. Things like safe browsing, VPN, antivirus, no bank account monitoring, only 2 bureau credit monitoring, TransUnion and Experian. You have an extremely limited identity protection plan, only dark web alerts, and there's no fraud insurance or fraud resolution assistance. So this is kind of limited. Here is a bonus for you. So when we talk about the best credit monitoring services, I want to include also Credit Karma. Now, Credit Karma is now part of the Intuit family with TurboTax, QuickBooks, and Mailchimp. But they still keep helping you in terms of like offering you a free credit score app. This is kind of cool. So Credit Karma uses the Vantage Score model based on your TransUnion and Equifax credit reports. They also offer a credit score simulator, which lets you see how specific financial decisions may impact your credit score. So this is kind of cool. And one thing I want to say is that they are doing so fantastically. Now, they have a little bit of baggage. As a matter of fact, Credit Karma recently agreed to a 3 to 5 million fine from the FTC. So this is something you need to really be aware of. But hey, listen, they're still good anyway. I mean, basically, you have free credit monitoring. You have a service that alerts you to changes to your credit score. They offer online banking options through their Karma Money features. And you have credit building features that help you boost your credit score over time. And you have educational content that's really useful for understanding your credit score. So fantastic. So Credit Karma is really free for users. However, you should be aware that Credit Karma keeps its services free by serving ads to users. Okay. So here is an overview I want you to pay attention to. So when we talk about monitoring your credit, The best way to monitor your credit, is it through a credit monitoring service, or is it by having a disciplined financial life? Well, it really depends, because credit monitoring services play a critical role in your financial health by alerting you to changes in your credit score, providing calculators and simulators that show the impact of applying for a new loan, and giving you access to your credit history. But even more importantly, credit monitoring is one of the only ways to catch the early signs of financial fraud and identity theft. Okay, and so in terms of choosing a credit monitoring service, basically there are a few features you need to pay attention to. So you want to have unequivocally, you want to have three bureau credit monitoring. You want to have speed and reliability of fraud alerts. You want to have a proactive protection plan against fraud or identity theft, and you want to have insurance support and recovery options. Those are critical. Why? Basically, when we talk about three bureau credit monitoring, basically each of the three major credit bureaus, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, they collect different information. That's why it's really imperative to find a service that provides three bureau credit monitoring. Speed and reliability of fraud alerts is important. I mean, if your account has been defrauded, you want to know as soon as possible. Otherwise, I mean, this is just a waste of time, really, when you think about it. And customer service must be there 24/7, because fraud doesn't actually wait to work during the day. It works let's say it just works 24/7, if you will. Here is the approach I really want you to pay attention to. So when we talk about the best credit monitoring services, you really need to understand that the credit monitoring works in a very specific way. Like you have credit score tracking and monthly and annual reports. So every credit monitoring service provides you with some version of your credit score. And although financial institutions use many official credit score models, the most common ones used to create your credit profiles are VantageScore and FICO. Both will give you a good indication of your credit health. This is kind of important. But there is a difference though. The VantageScore model was developed by the three major credit bureaus, Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, while FICO scores were developed by private citizens, Bill Fair and Early Isaac. Okay, and you also have three bureau credit monitoring. You have instant credit lock to protect your credit report. So a credit lock prevents creditors from accessing your credit file, and creditors will typically run an inquiry into your credit file to determine whether or not to grant a loan or a line of credit, for that matter. If your credit is locked and a criminal tries to take out a loan in your name, they will likely be denied the loan. And credit locks are available from the main credit bureaus, but usually at a price. Okay. Bottom line is that you want to choose a credit monitoring service that lets you lock and unlock your credit at a moment's notice, and most free services don't offer credit locks. You want to have financial account monitoring, things like a bank, like investment account, etc. So there are many types of financial fraud that will not show up on your credit report. For example, criminals will add their name to your home title to try to improve their own credit score, which would likely bring down your credit score. And so you also have identity theft protection and alerts. Most free credit monitoring services focus almost entirely on monitoring your credit score and credit report for errors. So this is kind of cool. You have a proactive digital security process to safeguard your data and accounts. You also have support and insurance against losses. I mean, those losses are definitely will happen anyway. Okay, so some credit monitoring services will offer features like VPNs and antivirus software to help keep your information secure. And the more features you have to protect your information, the less likely it is that criminals will be able to steal the data and use it for financial fraud. And this is kind of important. And you also want to have 24/7 support, because you never know. So bottom line is, credit monitoring is really worth it. Okay, it's really up to you ultimately whether or not you want to sign up for a credit monitoring service. Many simply automate actions you can take on your own. For example, checking your monthly bank accounts, your bank statements, or reviewing your credit reports. Okay, but it's one of those things where you have to see, could you do it yourself, or do you want to outsource it to a third party? Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I spoke to you about the best credit monitoring services. And so here's a recap or a review, if you will. I spoke to you about Aura, Identity Guard, Identity Force, ID, Watchdog from Equifax, Privacy Guard, Identity Works. You have LifeLock, MyFICO, Credit Sesame, Credit Wise by Capital One, and Credit Karma. And I also talked to you about, I give you the overview, the approach, and now the recap. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.